So the Humble Lord Veezus, the way I came about, how I started in my first year. I wasn't born with the name the Humble Lord Veezus, of course. I actually do have a slave name. I was born before '88, so I was still classified as a slave. The real name is Verdine Devin Andrews. That is in the ID book. How I started was, I was a guy from the hood. Had both my parents. Mom worked 2 jobs. Dad was a musician. He loved music more than he loved money. That was his only downfall, I've personally felt, and I've told him this. My mother was a little bit more ambitious. She loved money, and that's why she worked 2 jobs to make sure she sent me to a private school. And what I've learned from my mother's sacrifices with time was that now that I'm starting to make a bit of cash, I give my mom half of all my revenue. It's just something that one should do. But basically, I come from a musical family, so music was always in my genes. I started DJing about 6 years ago. I started partying at the age of 13, and I've always loved going out. I loved girls, I guess, and this motivated me in life. You'll be surprised how women can motivate you at a young age, especially the older ones. So what I learned at that young age was that you needed certain things to get certain things. And doing that, I eventually started promoting for clubs at 16, which you're not supposed to be doing apparently. And then I started, being the guy you come to for guest list. Then clubs started paying me, $100 to get 100 people in the club. I was like, fuck, yeah, that's amazing. 16 years old, I'm making $100 every time I go to a club. It was cool. I was sitting in a VIP, drinking for free. You shouldn't be drinking at 16 as well. Do not promote that. But in this time, I met a lot of guys that you see as big DJs now and big artists now. I was meeting 10, 12 years ago. And I built relationships on a personal level with these people. And then I've always had a love for sneakers. So sneakers and music were always my 2 main fortes. Growing up, I couldn't afford nice sneakers. I was wearing your Adidas Superstars, your All-Stars, your average shit. And then from there, luckily I was blessed with being sample size. I started finding out that outlets stocked rare samples at ridiculously cheap prices. I met a guy also by the name of Zaid Osman, which I feel is the true sneaker king in South Africa. A lot of people wanted to give me that title, and I said, no, I don't deserve it. And I became friends with him. We started buying, selling, trading. And then how I started in sneakers and actually selling sneakers was that my friends used to come visit me, and they would either steal my shoes, which I didn't like, or they eventually started buying them from me. And some people used to call me up and like, yo, I'm going to a party, do you have something for me? And I would just look in my collection and find something that would suit them. I did that for a while, started making quite a bit of money off that, because at one point I had about 140 plus pair of sneakers, and I wasn't, of course, wearing all of them. Started selling them off, and a friend of mine made a statement. It's like, you're something like a sneaker consultant. This happened a few years ago. I was still DJing, but what I learned from being now this sneaker consultant, I thought about it, and I was like, fuck, that's a brilliant idea. I style people, I choose a shoe for them that suits them without them knowing, and it works. It sparked the idea. Like I said, I was broke as fuck at the time. I was getting paid 300-400 rand an hour set, sometimes 3-hour sets, you know what I mean? Now I get paid a lot more than that. And so I started with sneakers, and then my ex-girlfriend, she was from Chicago, and that's where the sneaker culture really started when it comes to buying, selling, trading. And she gave me the backbone of how sneakers and its value can really, really grow. And from there, I started a company called Trendy Sneaks, where it was just a consultant company, where it was people hit me up, WhatsApp, DM me, give me a call, say, yo, VF, that time I was still VF, my budget's 1,000 Rand, I'm looking for something crazy. Then I would ask them, what would you be wearing, and so forth, get to know my client, and then find them something that suits them. So far, 9 out of 10 times, I don't get it wrong. And then from there, I started DJing, still DJing at the same time, doing both things, and I started using my DJing when I had a big gig to wear something rare and exclusive, and then say I'm gonna sell it. Then I realized, wait, I'm making more money of shoes that I've actually worn than shoes that I'm not wearing. which I was like, that's cool. So I can actually go out with this for one night and resell. It's actually better than buying a shoe and taking it back to sports scene or somewhere, because you're actually making more money. No, sports scene just gives you back the credit. And if it's been worn, they're not giving you your credit back. So I started making a business of that. Got linked up with a few other guys in Joburg that were also resellers. I started supplying them with some rare and exclusive with connects that I've met through social media in Germany, importing the sneakers here as gifts and reselling them for ridiculous prices. But it worked. You know, just don't tell SARS about these things. No one's here from SARS, right? Shit. Yo, 2013, 14, and 12, I was unemployed. I made no money. So that's basically how I started as my sneaker consulting, was just literally styling friends and people that just started growing onto the persona of Lord Veezus. Like I said, 2015, I took a break from DJing. By doing that, I killed off my old persona because I felt it got to a point where it couldn't go any further. The Humble Lord Veezus was born, and I thought back when I obtained my first Yeezy 1, that first feeling of owning a 50,000 Rand shoe was, what is this? Why wear this? Not just the feeling you got, what it gave to others. So the Humble Lord Veezus was that it's a play on words. It's more of an English term, the Humble Lord. Now we all know a lord is a king, and he does unhumble things because he apparently owns the land and everyone in there. What I wanted to do was own this land, but everyone in here, to motivate them to be themselves. To motivate them, you can be whatever you wanted to be and become successful. I was told buying sneakers wouldn't pay. I tell those same people now, you are extremely wrong. I was endorsed by ASICS. If anyone's from ASICS, I do apologize for what I'm about to say now. I left them because they were sleeping. Then I signed with New Balance, and I've been happy ever since. A lot of other brands slept on me as well because they didn't believe in my madness. They felt that I'm not corporate enough. I'm not too this and I'm not too that. And I come late to meetings. And I'm like, apparently all that shit's important. And you can't beat this and you can't do that. And I'd never liked those things. But yeah, so now where I'm being, my ultimate goal is to be the second, or should I say the first. There was someone in South Africa that made their own sneaker, but they collaborated with a store. I want to be the first South African and African to make my own sneaker with a big company, independently. And when I say independently, how do you mean independently? It means I want to design it, they'll manufacture. In other words, they'll use their money to make my dream come true, and then eat off their money when the shit sells. So basically, that's what I'm trying to say. And I feel the route that I'm going at right now will get there. Besides the jokes, I'm also very, very serious, and I try to be. That's why I'm in pink today. But I mean, when people first see me, they get a perception that, what's the word that everyone is throwing around? Arrogant and cocky, right? I'm none of those things. I call it humbleness. And humbleness is a feeling, it's a lifestyle. You can buy the flashiest car in the world, but if you want to do something really humble, stand on the bonnet of that car. The reason is, it maybe cost R1 million. Show me you stand on a R1 million car. It's a material thing, it doesn't mean shit. If you crash it now down the road, it's nothing, scrap. So when I look at people trying to get their 9 to 5s, a few years ago I went into a call center. Like I said, 2013, 2012 was a really hard time for me. I broke up with an ex of mine, of course, we had to move out the apartment. This is a different ex, actually, not the other ex I mentioned. And so I had to either go live back with my parents because things were a little bit, difficult. I thought, hey, let me go work at a call center. I was in there for 2 minutes. I walked in the door and I walked out. The next day I got the job. How? I literally walked in and I walked out and I was like, no. Me sitting here for 8 to 10 hours a day to get 8 grand is not worth my time. I'm not going to talk to people on the phone. I have nothing to say to anyone on the phone. My friends know, don't call me. Send me a voice note or a message or a meme. I'll respond to that. But what I learned in that 2 minutes that I was in that call center, there are so many lost souls here in South Africa. So much creativity out here in South Africa, but all been thrown away because of this, the lack of this. Today, I've seen every single one sitting here have ambitions, have ideas that can bring revenue. And I mean, my ultimate message is like, I mean, which I'm doing through my radio show right now, like with Kahizi, he's trying to find the music, the hunger, and others like him and others that are not like him. What I'm trying to do is, in a way, find people, but also in a way just to show, look, this is what I do, this is how I live my life. You showed me a rule book, and I rolled it up. I don't believe in your rule book. Your rule book, it's cool. But it doesn't define me. The rule book doesn't define you. The rule book doesn't define you. It's guidelines. You're 60. You're starting your own business. The rule book says you're too late. No, it's not. Know what I mean? One of my role models, Dwayne "The Rock" Johnson, $7 in his pocket 25 years ago. The richest actor in history, worth $5.2 billion right now. Makes almost $100 million a movie. 25 years ago, he had $7 in his pocket and he was broke. He was supposed to lose his first wrestling match. Because it's acting, right? So he decided to really knock the guy out and win the championship. Dwayne "The Rock" Johnson is now a household name. People are screaming for him to be president of America. They're predicting that he will get 80% of the votes if he should say he's running for president. That's true. Forbes tweeted that. And Forbes is pretty legit. They know how much everyone's making here. But I mean, the fact that a man, he saw an opportunity and he stole it. But look how much good he's doing with that opportunity afterwards, 25 years later. That's someone that I look up to. Literally, he's taller than me. But there's guys like that. There's Will Smith. There's the names goes on. There's Jamie Foxx. I mean, Jamie Foxx was a guy that always wanted to be a singer. But him being funny and him being the token black guy made him money. But now, he does what he does. That he changed his name to Jamie fucking Foxx. You cannot approach Jamie Foxx and say, "Good day, Jamie Foxx." He will not respond to you, because that's not his name anymore. He's decided his name now. Like I am the Humble Lord Veezus. People can call me on my slave name, just don't respect the response. The only people that's allowed to call me on my slave name is if the bank, if there's a problem, and my mother if I've caught on some shit. Those are the only two people I feel that can call me on my slave name. I've made a character, that is my business, me. I'm breathing, I'm walking, I bleed, I eat like everyone else, but I am my own business.